Okay, now let's look at an application of a linear function. The cost C in dollars of running a moving truck for a day is given by the function C of x equals 0.25x plus 40, where the number of miles driven is represented by x. So apparently what we have going on is no matter what you do, once you've signed that agreement, walk out the door, you've paid at least $40. That's a base fee. And then they're charging you 25 cents per mile after that, rather than constantly adding 0.25 with each new additional mile. Why not take care of that repeat addition by multiplying and then add it to the base fee? I'll let you have a minute here to read what's asked for in parts A, B, C, and D. I've got it copied down behind me, and I'm going to need a little space to type in the answers on the screen. All right, so that first part, they're giving you X, 200, and you want to find out the cost of driving those 200 miles. That is just going to be involving arithmetic. 0.25 times 200. Oh, I think we're going to get 50. So plus 40, total of 90. Whereas the next part is going to involve some algebra because we've reversed what's given and what's being looked for. You're given an amount spent in part B, and we're asked for how many miles were driven. Now, since this is a linear function, the slope is 0.25. That's positive. Since we just found going 200 miles gives us that C equals only $90. And now we're talking about a higher cost, then I believe that should give us a higher value of X. So putting 150 over here, subtract 140 from, sorry, just 40. Subtract 40 from both sides, 0.25x equals 110. And when you divide 110 by 0.25, that should be 440 miles. That does at least beat the 200 miles, which was my guess. Let's see if I've got it exactly correct, though. So 440. Putting that in. Good to go. So on to part C. In that case, you don't want the cost to be more than 200. Now, you're dealing with an inequality. No more than would be the same as saying less than or equal to. So 0.25 would have to be less than or equal to 160 based on subtracting 40 from both sides. And then when you divide both sides by positive 0.25, it's going to keep it in the same direction. And now we should be getting, it looks like 640 miles. So don't drive any more than 640 miles. Inwards, that would be the maximum. You could drive that much or less. And then for the implied domain, because you could potentially drive 0 miles, I think we should include that, although it sounds a little weird. And then because we're talking about driving no more than 200, spending no more than 200, then X would have to be less than or equal to 640. Square bracket there because of inclusion. Now maybe, since it's saying it's wrong, maybe they're not considering that person anymore, but anybody that rents. So let's try letting it go to infinity, which we can't include. Still good. All right. One last example to do.